Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. For those who have attended the previous sessions, welcome back. And for those who are attending for the first time, welcome to our Kscope22 speaker series. Just to give you a little background, the idea behind this speaker series titled Masterclass with Your Kscope22 Guru is to bring you diverse subject matter experts, dedicated innovators, and industry champions who are transforming the Oracle Cloud ecosystem. If our mission is to help businesses run better, one of the best ways we can do that is by bringing everyone together to share new ideas, start meaningful conversation on a variety of Oracle Cloud EPM topics, and hopefully inspire you to join one of the most talked about events in the industry, ODTUG Kscope22. Today, our next speaker has over 20 years of professional experience developing and deploying business intelligence reports and analytic dashboards. He has an extensive consulting and industry experience using Oracle Analytics Cloud and Oracle Business Intelligence Enterprise Edition and various projects across North America. He also has experience working with FDMEE and data management to load Hyperion financial management, planning, S-Space, and related cloud EPM applications. Without further ado, please welcome Argano Interil Senior Lead Consultant, Wayne Van Sluys.
Thanks,
Wayne,
Jen.
how are you doing today?
I'm doing spectacular, thank you.
Great. Well, just before diving into today's session, we're going to spend the next few minutes just kind of getting to know you. And to our audience, we have the Q&A box open for you to submit any questions you may have for today's speaker. This could be a fun question or just any question relating to Oracle Analytics. So first question, Wayne. How do you like to spend your day off? What is your favorite way to just spend your time off when not in the office?
With family and friends.
Family and friends. That's always a great choice. Is there any events that you all like to do? Just hanging out or maybe card games, or it's just what it like spare the moment as long as we're all together?
Usually just cooking and hanging out, enjoying a good glass of wine or two, and just being with each other and enjoying the time.
So cooking, are you actually cooking or do you prepare to like just wait for it to come around for it? I'm one of those, it depends on my mood. Sometimes I'll cook, but depending on the company, I'm like, oh, let someone else take care of it just so I can hang out for a little bit.
I enjoy cooking. When I go
wow.
visit my mom and dad, I will make at least 2 or 3 meals that week, and they're usually a pretty good what do you want to call it, endeavor. I've done duck, I've done stuffed fillets, I've done a whole host of things. I enjoy cooking.
Stuffed fillet. I don't think I've had stuffed fillet, but chicken, but not fillet. That sounds very intriguing and yummy because I do love steak.
You take a good piece of Stilton blue cheese and you open up the fillet and put it inside, and then when the fillet is cooking, it'll melt that blue cheese.
I am writing that down because that actually sounds delicious. What TV shows have you binge watched lately?
There's Mayor of Kingston or Kingstown with Jeremy Renner.
Okay. Are you finished with it, or are you just
that season 1 is finished, so I'm waiting hopefully for a season 2.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to look into that because I actually have not heard about it. So, is it what is the premise? What is it about?
It's a prison community up in Michigan where it's the interaction of the police, the prison guards, the prisoners, and Jeremy Renner's character is, I don't know, kind of an ombudsman amongst them all.
Okay.
It's an interesting storyline.
Sounds very interesting. And if you've already finished it, then it must be like a great show to watch. So I will definitely be adding that to my TV shows. And kind of just switching gears from TV. Can't talk about TV nowadays without mentioning podcasts or music. So is there any podcasts that you're listening to that you recommend, just, you know, so we can get a little idea of the things that you enjoy most as far as just podcasts and music.
I haven't listened to her for a while, but Cole Nussbaumer Knaflick, who is probably one of the go-to people for data visualization, has one called Storytelling with Data, and that's her book as well. That's a good one to really get your head into the world of data visualization and some of the best leading practices related to that. Otherwise, I'm more of a just listen to music. Enjoy a couple Irish bands, Gaelic Storm, The Elders, Kings, what is it? Kings, and country music as well.
Well, I hope you all have your pens and notepads ready because Wayne is dropping some gems here. If you can eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be and why? And I love asking this question. I've received just about anything that you can imagine. So if it is one thing, one meal, what would it be and why?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It is tough.
I would say pizza because you could put any kind of topping on it. So then I'm not bound by a pepperoni pizza. I'm saying a pizza. So I can do a chicken barbecue. I can do a meat, vegetable, whatever, but pizza.
Pizza. That's the first time I've heard pizza. Please tell me you're not one of those that put pineapples on it.
There's no place on my pizza for a pineapple.
Thank goodness. I have never understood people that had pineapples on there, and I'm gonna have to throw out another topping. Jalapenos. Please tell me you don't put jalapenos on it.
Depends on what I'm having it with. But the jalapeno on a pizza is good with like a chicken and that, or a taco pizza, right?
Okay, I can respect that versus someone just having to have either pineapples or jalapenos, no matter what topping is on that. I don't get that. But when it depends, as far as jalapenos, not the pineapples, that is completely out to me. But jalapenos, I can understand. It depends on what other items you have going on. So, if you were stranded on a deserted island, it can only take 3 things. What would it be? Oh, side note, no electronics.
Stranded on a desert island.
And you had the option of bringing 3 things, or you could only have 3 things.
Is my food and water provided? Or do I have to fend for it?
You have the ocean, and then I guess Mother Nature will rain.
A hammock, a fishing rod, and binoculars.
Okay, hammock, binoculars, and a fishing rod. Okay, very resourceful. I'm seeing it here. Okay, I can see that. So kind of switching gears over to just your professional experience, what first interested you in this topic in Oracle Analytics? What grasped just your interest in it to just say, this is what I am going to be, that innovator. This is what I'm going to be, that trailblazer in.
98, I was introduced to business intelligence, and I enjoyed being able to take data and make information from it. Basically, a nice presentation of the data, and not just purely the numbers in tabular form. So dashboards, something that helps draw people's attention to that key metric or metrics, helping them to ask the next question or to take action on what has been provided to them. Data analytics is all about the next step, not just dumping something at someone for the pure sake of providing information. For me, at least, that's how I look at it. It should drive action. It should drive question. Why is that spike up? Why is that area less than the other? Why are we having a difference between two periods or two operating units or something to that effect? So that's where I use visualizations to help draw that attention and then to help facilitate the next question. So
And
it's
I love
something
what
I've been doing.
I love what you said, that, you know, it's not just about basically just taking what you see, but diving into it and questioning and wanting to learn more. I definitely agree with that. Great answer. And since 98, wow. I did not know that it's, you know, you've been in this field, or that's when it interested you, was in 98. That's a very long time, very admiring. So in your experience, what motivates you just to be the best on the job? Like, what motivates you to just bring your best? Because I mean, it is very well known that you are the person who always are just at the top when it comes to everything, no matter if it's questions, no matter if it's a deliverable, no matter if it's just, you know, volunteers for something. So what just motivates you to always bring your best?
I guess it's a work ethic instilled by me from my grandfather, my father, my parents. When you show up to do the job that you're there for. And, you know, to me, 100% is average. You got to give more. And it's just the way I operate. I don't know. It's just, it's a pride in my work. It's a pride in what I produce. And if I can walk away from it saying that I made a difference in some way, solving a problem or helping someone, then my job is accomplished.
And I love that you said, you know, when you show up to do. That is definitely a quotable line, Instagrammable, whatever, IG, whatever you're on. I love that. When you show up to do. And the fact that you said your mindset when you walk in is walking out thinking, how have I made a difference? And that is just a wonderful way to think about things, and definitely something that I would love to incorporate, you know, just moving forward. So what is one important skill that you think everyone should have?
Asking questions and listening.
I love that. Yeah, asking questions and listening. To me, that's the only way that you're going to be able to just broaden your horizon, no matter the subject, you know, just getting a deeper understanding instead of being a yes person or nodding your head, but asking people questions like, how did you get there? Let me listen to what you have to say, but at the same time, here are the answers that's, you know, where the questions that's coming back from the conversation. I absolutely love that. So kind of moving forward to Kscope. Kscope is 4 days away. We're all excited. I'm super excited about it. It's my first Kscope event. I've heard wonderful things. And I would just like to know, how many Kscope conferences have you attended?
Since 2010.
And you can count digital in that number. So since 2010.
So I think that was the first Kscope I went to. I think it was 10. It would have been Washington, DC, was my first Kscope. And I think that was 2010. Prior to that, I was going to Hyperion Solutions for many, many years. I presented at those. And before Hyperion bought Brio, which is the business intelligence software I cut my teeth on, I was going to Brio conferences and presenting there. So I've been presenting at technical conferences since 1999, 2000.
Wow. So knowing that you've been there or started since like 2010 and attending these conferences, there's obviously something that's really bringing you back. So what's your favorite part about Kscope?
The community.
The community. I've heard that many, many times. I've even had, you know, previous presenters say like, that is the number one thing that they're looking forward to most, is just seeing these attendants who have been attending for years and catching up. So I love that. And I can't wait to hopefully be able to meet and make connections as well, so that I can build this Kscope community for myself. So that's just, I can't wait if you can't tell.
It's going to be a blast.
What was that?
It's going to be a blast. I'm I'm concerned about numbers just purely because of the COVID craze right now. But I think from what I'm hearing, it'll be a good time, and we'll make the best of it. People have been doing things on the side, virtually for the last 2 years, and I think it's time to be in person.
I agree. I think it's definitely time to be in person. And I mean, luckily, ODTUG has already thought all of that through and have badges, color-coded badges that you can wear to let people know where you stand, considering the pandemic, if you would like a handshake, if you would like a hug, if you'll kind of keep 6 parts. So I really do admire that they took just the world circumstances into place when planning. And it goes to what you're saying, that it's a community. Like they thought about the community that they have and looked at every little thing to be sure that everyone would be comfortable, that everyone would feel, all things considered, safe, and would be able to still go to sessions, still go to the Sunday symposium, still, meet up with others for meetings and have that experience that everyone knows so well when attending Kscope. So at this time, we would love to see a sampling of your teaser of what you'll be presenting at Kscope22. And just before we get started into that, I would love to know from our audience, which of the Oracle community events that you either have attended, because I know we've had Blueprint and Sense currently going on, and then Oracle Cloud will be coming up after Kscope, a few months after Kscope. So take a few minutes to fill out this poll and just let us know which community events are you really looking forward to. I will leave this up for about 5 seconds or so, 6 seconds or so, share the results, and we will move forward with today's session.
Brianna, do you need me to go through all the intro slides?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
I'll leave this up for a few more seconds here. It looks like some of you are going to Kscope22, Cloud World, but no Ascend attendance or Blueprint. Okay. So I'll go ahead and stop the poll now, and Wayne, please take us away.
All right, folks. Thank you, Brianna. Welcome to our teaser, you want to call it, our master's class. A little bit about Interrel Argonaut, and let me get this out of my way here. All right, our goal is really to leave the world a smarter place than we found it. We've been in the EPM space for a long time. And we're all about building those relationships with our clients and helping us move forward and providing the ultimate in decision making and business performance. We're a 5-time EPM and Analytics Partner of the Year. We have 3 Oracle ACE directors. I'm one of them. Glenn Schwartzberg and Edward Rasky are the other 2 ACE directors, and Paul Lewis is our ACE, one of our newest ACEs, well, about a year now. We have a whole host of books that we've written on the Look Smarter Than You Are series, and we have well over 150 EPM cloud specializations within our company. And we've been the first to implement S-based cloud, planning and budget cloud, and financial consolidation cloud. Something that we're really proud of is our Net Promoter Score. This is 77%. This is the measure of how likely customers are going to recommend us, right? And for this score, in comparison, some of the system integrators are around 24%, and some of the global system integrators are at 9%. So we're way above the industry standard, and we are world-class, and it's something we're very proud of. So this is me, and if you've already seen my picture, the chat link, if you're looking to get look in the chat for a link regarding connecting with us at Kscope next week. I will be doing 2 presentations. The one that you're getting a little teaser on is going to be on Tuesday at 9 a.m. And then the EPM data story, or analytics data storytelling for EPM, I will be doing that presentation on Monday at 11:45 a.m. That's kind of blending the two of the worlds I live in now. So how can we bring data visualization into the EPM world and help do that storytelling? We'd also ask you if you're interested in registering for Edward Roski's vendor session. We will be raffling off some nice goodies. So I am the last of the webcast series for the master's class. I got to pick first because I'm really fast on email responses normally. So I picked the last one, so I had enough time to really juice this up for everybody. The rest of our presentations are listed here and available on the Kscope22 app. You can look us up. We're very proud to have this many sessions accepted for the conference. This is really awesome stuff. I will also be on a lunch and learn panel on Tuesday for the analytics track. So if you are planning to come to Kscope and haven't registered yet, register and use the Argonaut Interrel as your code to save $100 off the registration. So Oracle Analytics and Oracle Spatial Studio, the next chapter. This is a sequel to the presentation that I did last year at for the Kscope virtual conference with David Lapp from Oracle Product Management. He was to be my co-presenter this year, but due to some travel issues with Oracle, he could not join me at the session, but he was very instrumental in helping build out the demo content that we're working through. So the idea of this presentation is that we're looking at how we can move data between Oracle Analytics Cloud and Spatial Studio. We'll look at some of the new features in Spatial Studio to help us enrich that data so that it's not just looking at addresses listed, but actually data points on a map. And then looking at how do we combine data points to create a hierarchy within the spatial world, whether it's longitude and latitude to a city or to a county, or a county to a region and a region to a state. That's the way we're going to be working with the Spatial Studio. So we're going to create some geographic hierarchies with the maps. And then we'll look at how we can, the power of using these two tools to tell that data story better. So quickly, an overview of Analytics Cloud data visualization. We gather data, we do some cleanup to it, we explore, we look for peaks, we look for valleys, we look for outliers, we look for trends. And when we find that, we put it to the side and we use that as our explain. So we're sifting through it, we find those good nuggets, and we start to build our story, and that's where the explain comes in. So that's the idea of two different types of data visualization. And the woman in the podcast I spoke to earlier, Cole Nussbaumer-Knaflic, talks about data visualization as data exploration and data explanation. So again, two sides of the coin, each with their own nuances and tricks. One thing about Oracle Analytics Cloud is that it can connect to a whole lot of stuff. So over 30 different data connectors and flat files. And then if you include ODBC and JDBC, the world is your oyster. The data prep portion of Oracle Analytics Cloud allows us to enrich that data as it's being brought in. So as we create a data set, we can go in and enhance that data set through these various enrichments. These are really some interesting additional pieces you can add to your data. One of them is also that you can create your own enrichment library or glossary that could be added to. So that's where these recommendations come in. From out-of-the-box visualizations, there's well over 30 different visualization types that you can work with, plus a whole host of custom plugins that have been made available on the Oracle Analytics library. And part of the explanation, part of data exploration was to come up with these types of graphs. And the explanation portion is to then put it onto a screen such as what you're seeing here to help tell that story. And in this case, we're looking at the revenue being our top most important data point. It's upper left, top upper left is usually our most important part of the screen. And then we provide supplemental data to that by the various visualizations, whether you're looking at it over time, location, or entities. All right. So from a spatial perspective, everything is about location, addresses, regions, geographic boundaries. And we can even get into three-dimensional models or LiDAR viewing of data. Networks, if you all use Google Maps to find your directions to a place, that is using a type of spatial analysis, right? It using networks, roads, and to get you from one place to another. But Spatial Studio makes it a low code or no code approach to doing that analysis. When I first started with maps, I had to do this all with code. I had to write the SQL statement to do a join or to find objects within a distance. Now, just by clicking on a button in Studio, we can find out those within a certain range of distance, or within if I drew a circle on the map, which objects are actually in that circle. And I can do some analysis from there. So in the Oracle Analytics side, we start with this year. I'm going to be talking about the new data set we're working with. We're going to be loading some data to the tables and looking at a data story for it. Last year, if you watched our Kscope presentation, we did something in the St. Louis area. I live in St. Louis, so it's fun to work with something in St. Louis. And St. Louis has rivers and areas within the city that could flood, and we have these floodplains. So I took some address data and I put on a floodplain, and I asked how many addresses within a certain distance of that floodplain could be potentially at risk for my insurance portfolio. So the insured properties, the total value, and then what part of that portfolio is at risk if we had the flood. So that was last year. This year, we're going to be working with some supplier data and supplier locations. So from the data level perspective, I have a whole list of customers, 511 customers throughout the state of Missouri. And these customers and their sales, this is all fictitious data. The customers are actual locations or addresses. The sales is just me coming up with a random number and assigning it to that customer. So again, the data prep portion, we're just allowing us to join two tables without using the RPD. We're doing this all in data viz. We can do two table joins and bring it together to mash up other data within a data set, different sources, whether they're files together or database tables, views. We get this quick way of building out data. So there you can see I have got counties, I've got states. We're going to allow this to become a location aware, and we'll do it to the county layer as well. Now there's multiple Jefferson counties throughout the country, so we're going to make sure that when we build our map, we do it with the state so we can see it right. And we'll create our view. And this is the part where now becomes the art of design. We've got our data set created, and we're going to go create the workbook. And we have our sales, and we can see that there's about 88 million in sales. And I like to make my tile real quick so I have something to work with. And then my next view is going to be the sales by my customers. and their county. We'll pick a visualization. Sorry, it wasn't county, it was facility. So these are all my customers. And again, looking at the data quickly from an exploration perspective, we can see who's our top customer facility. We can swap out the customer with facility, or the facility with the county. We can see our top county. And now I want to pick one more vid, and this is going to be a map view. And like I said, there are multiple Jackson counties, so we need to include the state as part of our location so that the counties focus purely within the state of Missouri. So on that county map, we're going to add in the state as part of our location-based. We can quickly see on the state of Missouri what counties have the highest in sales. And there you are, St. Louis County, one of the highest in Jackson County on the other side of the state, which is near Kansas City. So that gives us our first look at building out map data. Now, the next piece that we're looking to do would be to add in suppliers. And this portion of the suppliers is another just arbitrarily creating 32 locations within the state of Missouri that we will use as a supplier layer that will then figure out which of our customers are closer to our supplier. And that will be part of the spatial demo. But right now, at least my suppliers come in as longitude and latitude only, and the supplier's ID, the location. Distribution centers. It's just, we're looking to just create the example of how we can take longitude and latitude in the spatial demo. We'll reverse that to create an address. So that's going to be part of the Spatial Studio demo that gives us the ability to, again, enrich the data. The nice thing about the work within Data Viz is that I can create multiple layers now on my map. I can kind of almost like think of transparency. I can layer a different map on top of the same one with a little bit of overlay. So there are all my supplier locations on the map. And our problem statement for the demo that we'll be showing at Kscope is the relationship of customers as address points, not as county layers, and their suppliers. So which is the closest supplier for each customer, and then do some analysis that way. Again, looking at market penetration, we might say, you know, there's too many customers for this one supplier. It's too much of a risk that if something happens to that supplier or distribution site, that we are too far away from any other ones. So we might need to look at adding another supplier within a region or another location on the map. So that becomes, again, part of that problem statement. So in Studio, this is the teaser of what we will be doing during the Kscope conference presentation. We'll talk about all of these little steps. We'll have recorded video of each of these steps in action and how we can work with it. And then we'll wrap it with bringing it all back into OAC and then really doing some in-depth analysis on the data once it's all been enriched from Studio. So with that, that's your little appetizer on my presentation for Kscope related to Oracle Analytics Cloud and data visualization with Studio, Oracle Studio, Graph Studio. We'd like to invite you all and let Brianna take it away.
Yeah, so Argonaut and Terrell is celebrating 25 years in business. Thank you all for your trust, support, and just the opportunity to serve you. To show our appreciation, you're invited to join Argonaut and Terrell for a night to remember at Corky's Gaming Bistro next Tuesday, June 21st from 6 p.m. until 10 p.m. Just to give you a little bit of insight on Corky's, it is a fast-paced, energetic environment with something fun for everyone. You may be asking, what should I expect though? Well, I'll start off by saying that we'll have the entire venues to ourselves. That's right. This will include classic arcade games, axe throwing, escape rooms. We've even hired a live musician to come in and play just the greatest hits for us, a 360-degree photo booth, a full bar, and complimentary dining, as well as transportation from the Gaylord Texan. This invite is exclusive to all of you that has just attended today's session, and I will go ahead and drop the link right now in the chat for you to RSVP. You definitely do not want to miss this event. We cannot wait. Lots of days of planning, and we look forward to seeing you. So just come get quirky with us. And then to wrap up today's session, thank you, Wayne, for meeting with us today, giving us the opportunity to get to know you a little better, and for sharing a teaser of your Kscope22 presentations. This will wrap up our speaker series. If you'd like to view past speakers, please visit epm.bi/Kscope22 Gurus. I went ahead and dropped that link in the chat box for you. So again, thank you, Wayne, and we truly hope to see you all in a few days in Grapevine, Texas for the Kscope22 event. Bye, everyone.
See you all there.